Good morning, day traders, and welcome to Market Minute, a hedge fund trader's technical analysis of the stock market for Thursday, March 24th, 2022. Let's get after it. So a little bit of a challenging open here, or a little bit of a challenging pre-market action here this AM. Kind of in the middle of these ranges after yesterday's bearish engulfing candle and bearish engulfing on volume. Although this is sort of increasing volume, it's not quite creeping up towards that outlier barrier, and it's hard to look at this as incredibly strong sellers here on the SPY. That being said, right, it's a little bit of that kind of lack of momentum here, and we're starting to see maybe a little bit of that selling pressure now step in. So if SPY can break down under this 443.40, right, it certainly looks like it has room down towards that 440 area. So you need to be a little bit cautious, right, selling into previous strength we saw or in kind of mid-March. Very similar story here on QQQ, right? Increasing volume slightly closer to outlier and then inside bar. So inside bar, maybe a little bit more formal consolidation, which creates a little bit of an easier narrative here for a breakdown or breakout. If the Q can break down under this 350, that's a really nice psych level for it to lose. And then it certainly has room down towards that 345 barrier. If it wants to be bullish, right, we need to get over that 358, kind of just like yesterday, but kind of a $6 away, right, $7 away. Certainly makes you think that by the time it gets that breakout or by the time it sort of gets there, we're going to be out of momentum. So we need to be a little bit cautious here as we open up in the middle of these ranges and see if we can kind of get some clean follow through. Apple, right? Sort of in no man's land here, not particularly easily tradable to the upside, not particularly easily tradable to the downside. Too much of a kind of high volume rejection here on Apple right off of this 172 barrier. Now we need to see this 173.40 break, which is kind of this shelf here from early February. If it can hold and sort of pump on that, then yeah, Apple can sort of go back and test sort of those all-time highs. But for now, this sort of looks like a little bit of a rejection without really fully confirming it being one. So hard to be really expecting any action here on Apple unless we can get a really strong outlier pop here this morning. Tesla, right? A little bit of a rejection here at that $1,000 mark there yesterday. Closed at $9.99, now gapping up a little bit up and over towards that 10-12 area. Same thing like that Apple though. Relatively big rejection just under that 10.50 mark, right at 10.42. So we need to sort of respect that rejection and see it get invalidated before we want to chase this up. Because that was such a high volume rejection with such like relatively consistent sort of selling pressure there throughout the day, with a little bit of a bear flag here even, right? Certainly creates a little bit of momentum for a breakdown under that 975. We want to see that $1,000 mark break. We want to see that 975 fall on strong volume. And then we have a chance to kind of push this thing down towards that 950. Again, though, right? Same thing like we've seen with Apple, right? Maybe this is a day or two away from being tradable, as this isn't exactly the most highest convincing candle or the most convincing candle for a bearish breakdown, right? Definitely a lot of weakness, but still closing bullish and then now gapping up creates a little bit of a narrative that doesn't tell you that super consistent story to the downside. Microsoft yesterday gave us a really nice sort of indecisive doji day. That creates an opportunity to kind of sell off under this 297 for follow through down towards that 290 mark. We seem to struggle around this 300 barrier here on Microsoft. So if we lose that 300 again, after sort of market open and we're able to get that follow through on volume, then Microsoft will certainly be interesting to the downside. This might also be our easiest pump or easiest opportunity for sort of a bullish breakout above that 305.50, as we don't have that much to go here, and a little bit can almost look at this as like a low vol pullback there yesterday. So if markets get really strong and Microsoft gives us that pump, this might be the easiest name we have here today. AMD might be the best look here to the downside after yesterday's sort of Tuesday's really kind of indecisive fake out, right? Yesterday kind of made lower high, right? Lower low. So definitely more bearish momentum. Would like to see this thing break down under that 112.20 for a move down towards that 110 mark. If we're able to lose that shelf here around this 110, then things could really start to sell off and kind of test the bottom of this sort of channel band, right? Let's call it maybe like $95, $90. And certainly there's a lot of room down. And then NVIDIA, right? Definitely kind of similar here to Apple and Tesla, where it's not really giving us any really high conviction looks, not really any increasing volume, not particularly a convincing gap up or gap down that supports sort of the current narrative. So we're sort of stuck here expecting maybe a little bit of some challenging circumstances. If we can break down under this 255.30 on significant volume, then yeah, NVIDIA has a really good chance, but we need to be very cautious and wait for this thing to be perfect, and likely AMD will give us a better look as it has a slightly more convenient or easier setup for us to chase than Nvidia this morning. So that's why I plan on dominating today's action. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to copy my day trades live, you can start your free 7-day trial at dtrtrading.com. Otherwise, guys, have yourselves a fantastic session and talk to you all tomorrow for the next Market Minute.